Hello everyone. From this session, we'll continue with Green Revolution and further topics of agriculture. So yes, we are under Green Revolution. First we see what was the need for Green Revolution and what were the different phases of it, and then achievements and issues and related solutions we'll see. First we'll see what was the need. There was a technological stagnation in agriculture. That was where we had to import more goods. So increased dependence on food imports. And also there was crisis of natural and political. Then of course when we are importing more food, that means we are not producing enough. So issue of food security. Then even geopolitical pressures were the things which were proving us to go towards the Green Revolution. That was a need. Okay. So what it happened, it went in different phases. In the first phase, introduction of new high yielding wheat variety from Mexico. So from Mexico we got wheat variety. Establishment of Agricultural Prices Commission and Food Corporation of India. So during first Green Revolution only we established Food Corporation of India and Agricultural Prices Commission, okay, to manage minimum support price. So to manage minimum support price. So whenever we talk about minimum support price, MSP, we should be talking about Agricultural Prices Commission and Food Corporation of India. So second phase, spread of HYV technology to rice. So initially started with wheat, which we bought from Mexico. Later we went for rice in the second phase. Production and yields of food grains grow 3 to 1% and 2.5% per annum respectively. So production and yield. Production 3.1%, yield 2.5% was the growth. Then reduction in rural poverty from 56 to 50%. 6% rural poverty also got reduced. In phase 3, India maintained its status as a food self-sufficient country. We became self-sufficient country in food. From food security issues, right? If you see, we had the need of food security threats, we were there. In that need to food self-sufficient country we became. Significant increase in rice and wheat production because of HYV seeds and creation of large grain buffer stocks. Also, we started creating more buffer stocks. So, these were some of the points in phase 3. So, achievements are increased demand for agricultural labors because HYV seeds are there and we are growing it properly. Now, there is a demand for agricultural labors, increasing the employability. Increased production, spillover impact on industries, increased income level for farmers, enhanced food security. Our needs were fulfilled. Okay. Issues, but there were some issues also. Exclusion of non-staple and non-food crops. So we mainly went for staple crops such as wheat and rice. Exclusion of non-staple crops and non-food crops. Then limited high yield variety seeds. It was limited to only certain crops. Increased regional disparity. This was planned in Punjab and Haryana in such western UP places, whereas other regions were not using this seed as much it used to be in Punjab, Haryana. So that's why it was regional disparity creating factor. Then also environmental degradation because of over irrigation, soil erosion, etc. Water intensive crops and water table reduction. As rice is a water intensive crop, water table also got reduced day by day, and later unemployment also pitched in. So these are some of the points under issues. So later we'll see, that is about Green Revolution. We have seen need, and then we have seen phases, achievement and finally issues. Now we'll see to the next topic, agrarian distress. So factors affecting growth potentials and genesis of agrarian distress. Why this distress came in agriculture? There are certain reasons. We'll see those factors. Lack of long-term policy perspective. Long-term planning is not there. That is one of the problem. So every time we should go for second order thinking. That means long-term planning. Investment in agriculture and subsidy. So that was one of the problem. Investments are less. We know 90% is only from public sector, 11% or 10% from private sector. All these things we have seen already. Then this is also less. Gross capital formation in agriculture. That is only up to 40% and that is also in crop husbandry, not in animal husbandry. We have seen that also. Declining growth and investment rates. Later, absence of structural transformation of economy. There was no structural transformation, right? Unsuccessful land reforms. This is where fragmented lands are still existed, right? Technology generation and dissemination. Technology related problems. Lagging research and development. R&D is not there. Poor infrastructure and irrigation. Because of this, all these factors are causing agrarian distress. So manifestations of the agri distress. Macro level, if you see, workforce is 42.3% and GDP share is only 18%. How it is manifesting distress? This is the reason. Workforce is more, whereas the GDP share is very less. That means the marginal productivity is zero, right? Then declining productivity, we have seen groundwater crisis, water is reducing, right? We have a stressed water sources. 86% of farmers are small and marginal and they hold the 90% of land holdings which are fragmented. Okay. And micro level, if you see, farm loans, farmer suicides, migrations, all these are causing agriculture distress. So we say it as agri distress. Now if you can sit and practice these points alone and use it again and again, you will be able to get more marks. So just note down macro level, what are the things, and micro level. So immediately you should be talking about GDP and employment in macro, as well as productivity, water, and about land holdings, marginal and small farmers. Why should we focus more on small and marginal farmers, all these things. When you talk about micro level, you should be talking about loans, because of which suicide, and then also migrations. So these things you should be memorizing, okay. So factors leading to it are three different sectors we can talk. One is pre-sowing, we have seen, right? Production issues and post-harvesting issues. We'll see under three different headings. So pre-sowing or pre-harvest issues, fragmented land holding, stagnated production, irrigation problems are there. See, we can mention all input problems, irrigation problems, land holding problem. We can also mention for we have a lack of credit in, then fertilizer costs, initial high cost for investment. All these things we can mention. During production, over reliance on monsoons. So irrigation, that is again a problem even in production during that, because 50%, more than 50% is dependent on monsoons, and presence of pests and weeds. These are all the problems during harvest. Post harvest, market is not there, storage is not there, absent of market opportunities. Okay, then we have there is no comprehensive policies and inadequate infrastructure. So these are the problems. So how is it impacting? So it is impacting different stakeholders at a different rate. If you take the main person here is farmers. Farmer suicide, debt, poverty, low price realization. This can be easily mentioned because every time when we talk about agriculture, post harvest, the main problem is cost or price realization, input realization. So low price realization, which is leading to poverty, then debt, and then suicide. Actually, you can come from bottom. Village, if you see, rural to urban migration is happening. Then feminization of agriculture, because most of them males are working in urban and only female who are left out in the villages, they are doing the agriculture. So agriculture is feminized nowadays. So then cities, over urbanization. When migration takes place, of course it is over urbanization, and food inflation will be there. You have to pay more money for food alone. So then government, if you say decline in agricultural export, we will be having lower rank in human development index. Economic transformation difficulties also will be there. So those are some of the points. Now we seen here, see, under farmers we have seen low price realization, because of which poverty, because of which debt, because of which farmer suicide. And now farmer suicide as a separate topic we can take and study. If you see data, 11,290 suicides were there in 2021 according to NCRB. Okay, so this is the data. So more than 11,000 suicides in 2021, just suicide. Think of how severe it is. Regional factors are also reason for it. More concentrated in Vidarbha, Marathwada, Northern Karnataka. These are were listed under special category under 371, right? Article 371. So those areas, underdeveloped areas like Vidarbha, Marathwada and Northern Karnataka, mostly in drought prone areas. Okay, it is seen mostly in drought. It is seen everywhere, but mostly in drought prone areas. So reasons, there are so many reasons. We will categorize into three. Geographical, lower than normal monsoon rainfall. So irrigation problems, that means in return we are depending on monsoons. Because of climate change we are not getting regular monsoons. Sometimes because of El Nino and all, we are not getting much of rainfall. So that is one reason. And rain-fed areas, as I mentioned the same point. Non-diversified agriculture. If you don't diversified, not only for crop husbandry, even livestock husbandry, as well as solar, renewable energy investment and all, it is a diversified agriculture and there will be some incentive for you to survive. However, if it is not diversified, then this problem comes. So, decrease in soil productivity also because of high fertilizer pesticide usage. If you see institutional, farming prices of we have the problem of falling prices of agricultural commodities, low prices, low penetration of crop insurance, delay in insurance dispersal. We have seen these problems during farmer insurance, right? Yeah. So inadequate infrastructure like storage, logistics, processing leading to the distress sale. Poor ecological planning. Okay, there is no sustainable planning is what we are yet to say. Technological, if you say inadequate R&D. Poor quality seeds still are used, leading to low productivity. Crop like BT cotton failed in rain-fed regions or due to other reasons. Whitefly attack in Punjab and all. Okay, sometime miscellaneous reasons also will cause all these things. High farm mechanization cost. So for mechanization also, it is initial investment cost is very high. So what is the way forward then? We should go for water diversification and water harvesting. Ensure better price realization. Farmland technique. Financial security and support should be given through credit and insurance. Agriculture, marketing reforms, R&D and expand crop diversity. So we also seen about one of the reason for suicide is debt. So then that's why we will read in depth about loan waiver. Okay. So according to data, between 2012 to 2021, 13 Indian states have implemented FLW schemes. So it is like 13 Indian states have implemented farm loan waiver schemes. That means they are waiving off the loans so that we can reduce the suicides and also improve farmer self-respect, etc. So argument in favor to it are farmers. We'll see in point of farmers. Stop vicious cycle of indebtedness. So we can stop that, cut down the cycle first for new approach to get more productivity. Provide immediate relief until structural reforms are implemented. This is to give an immediate relief. Access to formal credits helps to clear previous loans, enabling access to new loans from formal institutions. So reducing a debt overhang. Okay. So creates resilience in farmers, as I told. Banks clears NPS. They also will maintain NPA. So when the loan is waived off, so NPA will be cleared, freeing up resources for new loans and economic activity. Society ensure food security. State's moral obligation. It's a moral obligation. It is the duty of a welfare state to support its population in distress. So moral obligation of state also. So some arguments are unfavorable. We'll see such. Farmer side, moral hazard does not address root cause. Addressing root cause is important. Why that they are not able to pay off? That should be addressed than like waiving off is a argument. Prone to error in inclusion and exclusion. Uncertain impact will be there. Agricultural labor not covered under this. So what about them? So that is one of the drawback. Banks eroding a healthy credit structure. And increased NPS will be there for the next time also. State, moral responsible state to do reforms. They should be doing the reform. Demand side inflation will be more because there is no supply now. Demand inflation will be there. Affect fiscal consolidation. Because the government should be bearing that, right? So there will be affecting in fiscal consolidation. Reduce public investment and society prone to corruption also. So what can be done for this? Increase the coverage and availability of institutional credit. We should get the credit at the right time. Okay. For that we should be making that increasing coverage. Effective law to regulate non-institutional sources of credit so that we'll get a count and data, and also we can make the necessary reforms whenever it is required at the right time. Create a farmer distress index. Use grant to support distressed farmers. Credit guarantee fund for agricultural loan. This can be done very effectively. Improve farmers' access to the market. Address infrastructure deficit in rural areas. Effectively deploy crop insurance. So credit, insurance, market, and build the trust. Policy reforms, markets. So these things we can be improving so that we are curbing the root cause. Okay. So next we'll go for climate smart agriculture. So now we have seen the reason for suicide and we have taken 2 points. One is from loan waiver and one more about insurance and credit, all those things. Now we'll see about climate smart agriculture. So for climate change, our agriculture has to be adopted so as to get the maximum productivity. So we'll see India. First thing is the pillars of climate smart agriculture. There are 3 pillars. One is increase productivity, as I mentioned. Second one is enhance resilience. Third one is reduce emissions. These are very important key terms. Productivity, resilience, and reduce the emissions. So why is it needed? Because population growth is there and we want the food also. Threatening food and nutrition security and impact of climate change. So if you see India's specific needs, high vulnerability. 51% of India's cultivated area is rain-fed, making it highly susceptible to climate variability and extreme weather events. It is very vulnerable because more than 50% is dependent on monsoons only. Temperature increases. Average temperature rise of approximately 0.7 degrees Celsius from 1901 to 2018, primarily due to greenhouse gases, affecting the crop growth cycle and productivity. So we have to go for that. Change in rainfall patterns like dry spells, increase in day precipitation extremes, these things. Then drought frequency is increased flood and cyclone prone impacts on agricultural stability, modified pest behavior also. So like locust attack 2020 leading to vulnerability to infections. Economic growth and poverty also we have to reduce, right? We should have high economic growth and reduce the poverty. So these are the India specific needs. If you see challenges, collaboration is a problem, robust metric and assessment, financial and economic barrier, technology knowledge barrier, policy regulation challenge, environment and climate variability. So if you can observe here, it is just a subject names. Environment and climate variability. It is about policy making and implementation challenges. Science and technology, technological and knowledge barrier. Economics, finance and economic barrier. Then we have this one, surveillance, like when you talk about disaster management and all, you will be talking about assessment and collaboration society. So all the subject names you can write if you can't remember anything. Way forward, creation of a single nodal agency for it. Comprehensive, as I told before also in previous episode, the word comprehensive climate change mitigation integrated policy making are important. Prominence to village panchayat, KVKs, what is this? Krishi Vignan Kendras should be enhanced. Ensuring food and nutritional security, promotion of crop diversity and water conservation, R&D in climate smart practices, availability of farm inputs and finance, credit, insurance, all those things should be provided. R&D should be there, mechanization should be there. Then we have seen agricultural technology should be shared, awareness should be given, human capital formation should happen, protection of forest conservation, sustainable development and inclusive development should happen, promotion of millets and coarse grains which consumes less water. So you can see like you should go for area specific crops, then diversifying it, taking livestock, mixed farming and mixed cropping should be there, agroforestry you should take, support of carbon markets, information dissemination and training of farmers, expedite recruitment and research institute. So all are those points only you can write. Then we have ZBNF, zero budget natural farming. So it is, if you see zero budget natural farming, 4 pillars are there in zero budget natural farming. First thing is Jeevamrut. So then we have Bijamrut, a seed. Achadan. Then we have Vabhasa. So these are 4 pillars of zero budget natural farming. We will see in depth, okay? So first of all, we should be seeing what is the benefits. What are the benefits of it, then issues, and then steps to take and what are the way forward. So we can also check more on these 4 pillars. Let me say you. So Jeevamrut is biofertilizer used in ZBNF. It is a liquid formulation made from natural, easily available ingredients which enhance soil fertility and microbial activities like cow dung, cow urine, jaggery, pulse flour, soil, water, etc. Okay. Next one is Bijamrut, seed treatment. Purpose is to protect seed from the disease and pest. So ingredients are made using cow urine, cow dung, etc. And next we have mulching, that is covering soil. So that is to reduce the water evaporation, control weeds and preserve soil health also. Vabhasa is soil moisture conservation. So maintain adequate moisture in the soil and crop growth. Okay. These are the 4 pillars of zero budget natural farming. Then we'll see the benefits. Environmental friendly it is, reduce indebtedness, because you're using zero budget. You should not be spending money out of your pocket. You should be using within the farm whatever it is available, and reuse the same thing, so that it is zero budget. So you will be having reduced indebtedness, enhance soil fertility, versatility and water conservation, promote biodiversity. Nutritional benefits also are there. What are the issues? What is that? Reversion to conventional farming. So it is going back to conventional farming. That is a problem. Uncertain impact on productivity. We can't decide on productivity and income. Declining population of Indian breed cows. So we want to improve our breed cows also now. Government expenditure disparity also is there. So Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati scheme for natural farming is there. So Bharatiya Prakritik, it's like natural Krishi Paddhati. Paddhati is a steps or things we use, the way, Paddhati. So Bharatiya Prakritik Krishi Paddhati is what we are using. Then we have way forward, strengthening farmer education, awareness, then increasing our indigenous cow breeds, R&D, strengthening market linkages, government support and policy reforms, scaling up the zero budget natural farming adoption, and collaboration and knowledge sharing. So usual points only, but keywords you have to memorize and rewrite. Okay. Then we will see how can we double farmers' income, doubling farmer income. So why is it needed? Obvious reasons. Rising indebtedness is there to reduce that. Land fragmentation is there. Low average monthly income is there. High input cost. Rampant poverty. Population pressure on the sector. Low price remuneration. All these things are the problem. To reduce this, of course, we want to increase the income of a farmer. So Dalwai recommendations we can see. Liberal definitions of farmer should be there. Agri diversification should be there. Incentivize the private investment in agri sectors. We can go for agripreneurs, farmers as the partners, agri marketing, state law based on model APLM. We have seen already APLM. That act we have to go for state laws. Increase access to institutional credit. Increase insurance penetration, credit, and promote MSMEs. Undertake land reforms again. Land pooling, incentivization, model law leasing act should be promoted. Then increase space of land record digitalization, which we are doing it. Draft model contract farming act. Then we also should bridge the gap between evidence based policy making. Then climate change mitigation. So we should go for micro agro climatic zone approach. So also neutral technology should be there, and use the technology. Establish multi-stakeholder nodal executive body at a national level to understand and mitigate the problems. So these are the recommendation of Dalwai committee. So next we have DFI, that's Development Finance Institution. So we have to have a specialized institutions set up to provide credit and finance services to sectors critical for economy such as agriculture, small scale industries, etc. So if you see PM 7-point action, steps to taken to build the farmer income, this 7-point action plan of PM. What are those 7 points? One is the focus on irrigation with per drop more crop. We have seen in micro irrigation, right? Then second is provision of quality seeds and planting materials. That's why we are going even for Fasal Bima Yojana for providing insurance. Third one is large scale investment in warehousing and cold chains. Yes. So then fourth is promotion of value addition through food processing. We have seen Pradhan Mantri Kisan Sampada Yojana. Implementation of ENAM, National Agricultural Market. We have seen APMCs also. Promotion of livestock and fisheries. In upcoming chapter we'll see. 7th crop insurance scheme, again Bima Yojana. So these are 7 points of PM to develop the or improve the farmers' income, right? So budget is also allocated for that. Then income support from PM Kisan scheme. Okay, just have a look into PM Kisan. Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, we have seen institutional credit, fixing of MSPs, promotion of organic farming, micro irrigation fund, national beekeeper and honey mission also, then MIDH cluster development program. All these are all the programs we have taken. Niti Aayog strategy for New India 75. So according to it, modernizing agriculture, resource utilization efficiency, strengthen extension services. We have already seen this. Agri diversification, as we have seen. Value chain development, we already covered all these points. So those are the things we should be doing. Then we can talk about livestock. So this is important. Year after we can talk about livestock and then the fisheries, and then we can go for horticulture, etc. So moving forward, in depth we will be dealing with it. So livestock, if you start, we have a data. Compound annual growth rate is 7.38%. Okay. Livestock sector contributed 4.66%. We have to improve this. Livestock contribution is just approximately 5%. It is 4.66. I am approximating it to 5% to remember. So Dalwai Commission says contribution to rural income 5% to national economy and employs 80 million dairy farmers directly. High employability but low GDP contribution. We have to improve this. Around 10% of farmer income it is. So WFO estimates that every rupee invested in livestock sector yields 4 times of its value. If you invest 1 rupee, you will get 4 rupee. So that is 4 times you will get. Okay. So 1:4 ratio. Contribution to the rural employment also. One is for income will be improved. Employment will be there. Because of feminization, dairy workers are self-employed. Employment elasticity is 0.4% or 0.4. Contribution to nutrition also. So livestock even for nutrition. Then if you see the issues with livestock sector, low productivity, yield of India cattle is 1172 kg, which is about 50% of global coverage. So in farm animals. So low yield we have. Disease outbreak, foot and mouth disease, black water infection, influenza are the common diseases we are seeing. Greenhouse gas emission because of methane, limited access in crossbreeding, then artificial insemination services are limited. Okay. Then we have fodder and feed deficit also. Only 5% of cropped area used for the growing fodder. So deficit of 11% in dry fodder, 35% in green fodder and 28% in concentrate feed. So all these are deficit actually. Market access and commercialization is also a kind of challenge for us. Weak institutional mechanisms for risk protection. Only 6% of animal aids insurance cover. So this is also a problem, institutional mechanism problem. So way forward, if you see, breed prioritization should be there. We should also go for indigenization of our cows and all. We should be protecting them. Addressing shortages. Then skilled human resources should be there. Human capital formation should happen. Implementation of key programs like Rashtriya Gokul Mission and Rashtriya Kamadhenu Ayog. These two are for cow. You should be implementing those. Organizing farmers and FPO, contract farming models, Nestle's milk production or procurement model. These models has to be encouraged. If you see the initiative, we have livestock health and disease control program, promotion of FPOs and self-help groups, animal husbandry infrastructure development, national livestock mission, national animal disease control program, Rashtriya Gokul Mission, then national program for dairy development, dairy processing and infrastructure development fund, livestock census and integrated sample survey. Even if you can't remember everything, remember some 4 missions and you can be writing under initiative. Okay, at least Gokul Mission, Kamadhenu Mission, dairy processing, or livestock health and disease, you can memorize as per your requirement. So I said already, under livestock we have seen now some points. Now we can see in depth about fisheries. Yeah, we can start fisheries from next class. That's all for today.